Warning, the following video details the story of the Rise of Iron expansion in Destiny. Spoilers are to follow, so this is your warning. Last time in Destiny's story, the Guardian fought the Cabal on Mars, found that Crota's father Oryx had come to exact revenge, and defeated the Taken King on his dreadnought. Afterwards, the Guardians noticed fireflies buzzing around their heads, giving them enhanced power. These fireflies make the Vanguard nervous, however, because they override the Guardians' armor systems. The Vanguard calls together the Owl Sector, who find a lab in the Clovis Bray facility on Mars that details the fireflies. They were a Golden Age experiment called transmission mites that were used to enhance a subject's intelligence and strength for future colonization efforts. However, there were serious side effects, and the project was abandoned after a countermeasure was put in place. Together with the Hidden and the Tetuans, the Owl Sector created another cure and administer it to the Guardians. Strangely, there were tracks that looked to be a fallen origin in the Clovis facility, meaning the Fallen have been on Mars digging around in the old labs. The Vanguard have noticed the Devils in particular have been sending ships to other planets in the system, but haven't been concerned until reports came in that they're digging into the quarantine area of the Cosmodrome that made Lord Saladin abandon his post at the Iron Banner. Saladin contacts the Guardian and sends them to a mountaintop in the quarantined area that's under attack by the Fallen. As the Guardian climbs the mountain, they discover the Iron Temple is at its summit, realizing why Saladin would want to defend it. On their way up, they meet an old foe whom they believe to be dead, Sepix Prime. Sepix's energy signature is giving a strange reading, implying it's regenerating. This sets Saladin off, and he screams to eliminate Sepix. The Guardian follows the machine to the top of the mountain and destroys it. Lord Saladin arrives and claims the temple secure. Suddenly, Sepix reappears and warps off while Saladin's scout Shiro announces the Devils are attacking the wall. Saladin worries the Devils have found something called Siva and sends the Guardian to eliminate Sepix Prime. The Guardian lands outside the damaged wall and heads inside. Shiro wonders who's leading the Devils with their Kel dead, but Saladin dismisses the Fallen and urges the Guardian to find Sepix. The Guardian eventually finds evidence of Siva, which manifests as red tentacles with diamond-shaped nodes protruding from them. The Guardian proceeds, and a Fallen attack destroys Saladin's sensor grid. Shiro directs the Guardian to a monitoring station to pull its monitoring logs. Here, the Guardian is attacked by Fallen that have mutated in a fashion similar to Sepix. Saladin, finding that the Fallen have already obtained Siva, cancels the search for Sepix and calls the Guardian to the Iron Temple. Here, they meet with Shiro, who wants to send in a force to fight the Fallen in the area they occupied, an area Saladin is calling the Plague Lands. But before a force can be deployed, the Guardian needs to destroy the weapons the Fallen are using to defend it. On the way, the Guardian finds the Fallen are using Siva in many ways, constructing new armor and weapons, building structures, and even restoring ancient gun emplacements. The Guardian pushes ahead and destroys the gun emplacements, allowing reinforcements to occupy the area. Saladin calls the Guardian back to the temple, where he recounts the fall of the Iron Lords. Here, he tells the Guardian the Iron Lords pursued Siva to rebuild the Golden Age, and finally tracked it to the Cosmodrome. They entered its complex, where they were met with hostility by the warmind Rasputin. Undeterred, the Iron Lords pushed further inside until they reached the Siva replication chamber. Here, Siva corrupted the Iron Lords and forced them to battle each other. Rather than let this infection escape, Yoder sealed the replication chamber, locking Siva away. Destroying this replication chamber would end the production of Siva and cut off the Fallen supply, but the Fallen have harnessed it in ways the Iron Lords never imagined. It doesn't corrupt them like it did the Iron Lords, making them nigh untouchable. Saladin wants the Guardian to find out where the Fallen learned to control Siva in an effort to defeat them. The Guardian meets with Tyra, who sends them to the Clovis Bray labs on Mars. She believes the Fallen found a Siva prototype there and used that to begin experiments. The Guardian digs through old laboratory and finds one with fallen corpses strewn about. They scan the research archive and find numerous Siva prototypes. From these records, Shiro learns the Fallen created a massive network to control Siva. If the Guardian takes down this network, it should neutralize Siva long enough for the Guardian to get past the Fallen and destroy the replication chamber. The Guardian finds their reactor and swap its fusion cells to knock out the network. This throws the Fallen in disarray, and the Guardian gets their chance to infiltrate the Siva complex. On the way, Saladin remembers the attacks by Rasputin, putting the Guardian and Ghost on edge. However, the Guardian doesn't meet hostile force from Warmind, only mutated Fallen. The Guardian proceeds further in the complex until they reach the Siva replicator room, where they find bodies hanging from the ceiling. They begin a self-destruct sequence when one of the bodies is pulled up, then slammed onto the ground. Siva has reanimated the corpse of the fallen Iron Lords, and is using them to battle the Guardian. The Guardian uses an iron battle axe to slay the abominations as a self-destruct sequence is initiated. The Guardian flees while Siva tendrils thrash about and explosions rock the complex. Fallen arrive to try and prevent the Guardian from fleeing, but the Guardian escapes with their life. They have cut off the supply of Siva to the devils and fulfilled the final mission of the Iron Lords. Back at the temple, the Guardian presents the helmet of Yolder to Saladin. He thanks the Guardian and presents them with a sword, granting them the title of Iron Lord. With the destruction of the replication chamber, the Guardian has cut off the supply of Siva to the devils. However, the Fallen can still use Siva that they already have, and they're still using it to great effect. The Guardian now works against the Fallen by doing things such as eliminating the reborn Sepix Prime and interrupting Fallen experiments with Siva. Reeling from their defeats, the devils flee into the lair they've built for themselves in Foundry 113. The Guardians build a team and meet at the entrance to the lair. Here, a fallen priest named Vosik appears, attempting to prevent the Guardians from entering their den. The Guardians force Vosik to flee and they chase him inside. They confront him in his lair where they defeat the Splicer priest. Afterwards, the Guardians climb to the top of the wall where they are nearly run over by a fallen siege engine. The Guardians climb aboard the machine and ride it to the end of the wall, where the engine falls to its demise. The Guardians jump from the machine and are able to land on a rocky outcropping nearby. Here, they find a cave that leads to the new leader of the Devils, an Archon named Axis, who has ascended into a god by becoming more machine than flesh due to the Siva given to him as tribute, and replacing Sepix as the House of Devils' new prime. The Guardians battle with the Archon, who summons Fallen to help him, and shows a great command over Siva. However, the Guardians are able to turn his weapons against him, damaging him with Siva caches and cannons held by his captains. He attempts to flood the room with Siva in a last-ditch effort to defeat the Guardians, but is slain on his pedestal. The Archon is dead, and with him dies the control the Fallen have over Siva. And that finally ends the story of Destiny. Let's go ahead and recap. They were awoken by Ghost, defeated a Hive Prince, destroyed the birthplace of the Vex, quelled a Fallen rebellion, defeated the progenitor of the Hive, and destroyed a Fallen that had ascended into a god. Pretty impressive. Our Guardian rose as a small mote of light and grew into one of the greatest champions of the solar system. Hopefully, these sets of videos helped you gain an idea of what the Guardian accomplished and maybe a little bit of why. But come on, let's be serious, no one really knows why. But now, we must inevitably look to Destiny 2 for a new Master of Darkness to rise and threaten humanity. And the endless space treadmill that is Destiny will continue. But until that time comes, I'm done here. So, thank you for watching, and see you later. Last time in Destiny's story, the Guardians jetted the Queen was called on, they learned some history of the Fallen and ended the insurrection of the House of Wolves. Now they head off to Mars to uncover some more info about the mountainous Cabal.